Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another shitty technical edition here of the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right, because I am coming to you live from downtown Mawa in my gorgeous, shitty kitchen studios. By the way, that name is being trademarked all around for all you podcasters. Maybe it's not your kitchen, it's your basement. Either way, just Google non revenue generating podcasts and join the 7 million people including many friends of mine, including maybe some at Chop Sports. But you guys are generating revenue. But anyway, there's different
Jimmy, you
categories
got
on
you
it.
got like you got like 50 Patreon members, bro. That's revenue out
Well,
of the
I do not have 50 Patreon, and we will get to that very shortly because I'm mired in a slump. I'm wearing my Bloomsburg shirt. My niece plays lacrosse there. My buddy Hank went to school there. Spent a couple of fun nights there back in the day. But this is show number 102 of the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right. I'm your host, Jimmy Palumbo. And coming in obnoxiously behind the glass is Chris Gucci, my co-host, semi-producer, and just an overall good guy from Central New
Well,
Jersey.
thank you. I appreciate it. That's the
You-
kindest thing that you've said about me. An overall good guy. I feel like that's really what I'm shooting for.
what
All the
else
other
do you
things
want?
you could be like, yeah, he sucks here, he sucks this, but he's an overall good guy. So he
That's
just
right.
sucks a little bit in all aspects, but not enough to
No,
make him
you
bad.
listen.
I love it. My
There's a
mom would be
lot of
proud.
money. Listen to me. There's a lot of money to be made in average. Okay.
Of course there is, bro.
Someone once told me that. I was at an audition and one of the actors just said, "Hey man, you can make a decent living if you're average."
Hey, look at the NFL head
That's
coaches. Look at the
terrible.
NFL officiating. Look at
That's
across
true.
the board.
Lot of average going on here. Maybe that should be the new name of my show, the Jimmy Palumbo Average Podcast. I'm thinking about that renaming. But this is your show number 102 now. As you know, we are no longer doing jersey numbers. We are doing my old stack of baseball cards. I grabbed it, and here we go, Christopher. You do not know this guy, Dave Collins. 6 people just drove off the road. Now, Dave Collins, very interesting. 1982 card. The funniest thing about it is on the back it says random. Those of you scoring at home, not on the audio version. It just says on the back, Jerry Remy had a 19-game hitting streak for the Angels in 1978. Like a random. Also, it says in 1978, Jim Palmer became the first 8-time 20-game winner in 43 years in the American League. Another random thing. But this is all about Dave Collins. Now, he played with the Yankees for 1 year, but I found his stuff he's from South Dakota, all right? He played for 8 teams, lifetime batting average 272. He has 395 stolen bases. I remember in the year the Yankees got him, he was like fast. He was a guy, he led off and he was lightning fast. He had 1,300 hits, so it wasn't like he was, he definitely got some hits in the league. He played with the Angels, Seattle, Cincy, Yankees, Toronto, Oakland, Detroit, Cincy again, and St. Louis. But interesting tidbits in my research. He remember when they do the expansion draft, when the new teams came in, which was Seattle, all the teams have to let guys that kind of suck say, all right, if someone can take these guys. And the Mariners took Dave Collins away from the Angels. And he was traded for weird guys over the years, guys like Shane Rawley, but he was traded by the Yankees in a huge trade because the Yankees traded him with Fred McGriff, who ended up being pretty good, for Tom Dodd and Dale Murray. A shitty trade that was. I always laughed. He was the first batter for the Seattle Mariners. You can't take that away from the guy. And he also scored the first run for the Seattle Mariners. So therefore, trivia game, someday, 40 years from now, someone will score a run, or maybe Dave Collins will die or something, and the announcer, we got some trivia coming up between the 6th and the 7th. Who was the Mariners' first at-bat? That answer is Dave Collins. He still has the record with the Blue Jays for most stolen bases in a season, 60. So listen, the guy coached in the minor leaguers. He's still alive, had 15 triples 1 year. And that's it. My boy, Dave Collins, my baseball card right here. Those of you scoring at home, I got to flip it over the right way. And this was definitely a guy who would end up in the spokes. There's no doubt. That's the name of the segment. End up in the spokes. That's the name. I just decided to name the same. All right, Chris. Now, who do you got?
So real quick, he had more than 1% of his career hits were triples in one season. It's pretty interesting,
That's pretty
right?
interesting.
That's
He was
by
fast.
far his best season. Okay, so
Yes.
I don't have a guy because I felt like I was going to be a little bit lazy today. No, I'm kidding. I have something a little more in depth. I have 2 packs of old cards, and that's what
Oh,
I'm
I
going to do.
remember those.
So right here, I got a 1989 score, Major League Baseball. And then this one is a 1990 Topps Major League Baseball with the gum in it. And the interesting thing about this pack is you have a chance in this pack to win a trip to 1991 spring training. So if we're lucky, we'll be going to 1991 spring training.
I love it.
In Tampa.
Do the Topps one though from 1990 because to me
All right.
Topps is baseball.
There we go.
Everything else is bullshit.
All right.
Topps is really what it is.
Here we go. And we'll do 1 pack, and we'll save the next pack for next week because we don't.
How's the gum? Are you gonna try the gum? Or you think
I
it's
don't
a little
know,
stale?
bro. It's like honestly, I feel like you could.
I remember that. It's so great.
It's like drywall at this point. I might actually go use it to patch a hole in the other room.
I remember like you would chew it and try to get it going, and then it would be good for about 40 seconds. And then it tastes like caulk.
We got to send this in to see if we win, and then we'll go. I don't know if you guys remember these cards, but I'm sure everybody does. Everybody has had these cards.
Yeah. I remember that. Remember that year very
100%. So we got a Mark Davidson. We have a Mark Gardner, future star. They were wrong about that. Ron Oster, Steve Searcy, Carlos Quintana. I have not even heard of one guy yet. Bill Duran.
Carlos Quintana.
Here we got a Met. We got a Jeff Innes. Do you remember Jeff Innes?
You know what? I think yes, I know that name. I don't know how. I suck. Wow, those are shitty guys.
He's from Decatur, Illinois. All right, Ken Patterson, Tim Burtsis, Vince Coleman. We finally got a guy that I've heard of.
There you go, Vince Coleman.
Devin White, Dwayne Ward, Brian Downing.
Oh, I remember Brian Downing. He was with the Angels, and that was right.
Mike Bilecki. We have a Cecil SB, and then everybody's favorite. We have a Ron Darling for the Mets fans out there.
Ron, that's it. Well, you know what? That would have been a nice get, Ron Darling, if you were back in 1990.
Yeah,
that's a lousy pack.
Honestly, this pack cost me more than these cards are worth, and it cost me about 30 cents. So here we go. So they said to save your old cards. Just not. All right.
Well, we'll leave that. We'll call it. We'll say it's Dave Collins and Ron
Darling. Ron Darling.
All right. Well, also a shout out to Tim McCarver, who passed away. Great announcer. Him and Jack Buck doing so many of those Jeter games and World Series games. I always thought he was great, even though he was like a Met announcer. I always thought he was great. Yankees came to the Yankees with a cup of coffee. I read a great article about him in the paper about him and getting how he got Ralph Kiner motivated and really started to like edge, kick like Ralph Kiner in the ass, really, because he realized, but this is Ralph Kiner, a great player, by the way. And McCarver started to pick his brain, and all of a sudden Kiner got revitalized. And the last 15 years, McCarver and Kiner did great work on the Met broadcast. He passed away. God bless him. I didn't even know he was sick. And that's it. So we will start the show, really. That's a little our baseball card fun. And I got to be honest with you, Chris. It's a very sad day here at Shea. Patreon. Now, I was on a streak. I was hot, bro. I was leading off. Fans were going crazy. Joe Rogan shaking in his boots. Joe Rogan was shaking off the catcher. He didn't want to throw the fastball to me. He was like shaking him off. But since then, it has been all Joe Rogan. I am just dying at 24 Patreons. I'm just, maybe I ran out of nephews. You know what it is? I'm stuck on Otis Anderson with 2 T's, giant running back. I'm stuck at 24. I can't believe I can't get a 25. Little R.W. McQuarters. So I am stuck at 20. You didn't think you see that? It perked your interest there. So I'm going to solemnly read my veteran Patreons because I feel bad for them. Yeah, listen, I feel bad for them because they want to be on a list of like 1,000 people. And we were on such a streak, we were smelling it. When you're like, it's like in the NFL when you're 6-3 and then you lose 4 in a row and you're 6-7, and it's like no shot at the playoffs. But here we go. Alex Stetz, Mary Eileen Riccardi, Michael DeMosi, Colonia boy, Big George DeMo, my mom, of course, my cousin Joey. I got Rob Pastor out of Rutgers, Kappa Sig. James Kanowitz, website guy. Can't get in touch with him. Two beautiful kids. Gotta love him. My nephew, Jimmy Riccardi, who spent way too much at the Super Bowl. He called me afterwards. He was half in the bag, walking around having a good time. Love that. I told him, look out. You never know. The Chiefs may not go back to the bowl for 20 years. Or like, what if he was a Cowboy fan in 1996 and he was making this kind of money? He would go to all these bowls. I'm like, dude, we're going to go every year. And now Cowboys, who I believe most irrelevant team in all of sports, haven't done shit since 1996. Then you got my other nephew, John Henry Riccardi, out of Los Angeles. My other nephew, Eric, getting married in Austin. Mike Caprio, cornhole fame. My brother, Frank, CFO. Darryl Clark out of LSU. Greg Casalino, Colonia boy. Mike Shecky Lawler. Dave Ben, went to school with him at 16 years. Pat Volkemer, most obnoxious fan of Chop Sports. We all know that. Martin Walsack, another Colonia boy. Michael Deege, Alphonse from Beer League. Janine Michaud, everything Absolute Eyewear right there. Robin Achani Barna, or Robin Achani, I don't know what name she uses right now. My cousin, John Henry Palumbo. My partner in crime for Beer League, Greg Alperin. And my nephew, Bobby, coming in at number 24. And that is it from the Omni. We're stuck at 24, bro. Very depressing. I don't know what to do about it. And listen, when the rent is due, I'll know why. But I get the feeling I'm going to go on another comeback. I'm going on a Patreon run very soon. I just feel it in my bones. You know when you're hitting the ball well, but I'm still mired in a slump. It's very depressing. So now make sure everybody listening out there in the interweb world, Instagram and YouTube channels are going on. Please select the Jimmy Palumbo Show and Instagram, official Jimmy Palumbo, the Beer League 2 on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and shitter and all that stuff. Click on that. We are still moving towards the March 30th release of Beer League 2 webisodes. I'm going to call them because it's not a movie, but it might be someday. But I just got an email from there's a legal issue that is dangling that Johnny Trillo has to figure out, but the path is there. We just got to get our, pens together and cross our T's and I's, or whatever the hell that phrase is. And we are looking good for that. I will be seeing, I didn't see it last week, but this week I was assured that I will see the footage for the first time. I'm looking forward to that. And it should be fun. All the fans at home, should enjoy that. And this, of course, is the time of the show where we must talk about our longtime sponsor, Absolute Eyewear. That's right, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, down by the train station. Opticians, they got everything over there, owned by Craig and Janine Michaud. Give them a call, 732-326.
Eyes.
Oh, the delay in that.
No,
like
I was like about to sneeze. I still might sneeze.
See,
and
listen,
bro, I've been battling this sneeze since we started the show.
Okay, well then sneeze live on the phone because you just don't know the eyes thing. 732-326-3937. Craig and Janine, full service opticians. They got prescription eyewear, sunglasses, safety glasses, glasses for the kids, contacts. Everything's done on site. They got the guy there, the optometrist, whatever the hell his name is. He's there. It's all good. The place is great. They have Ray-Ban, Coach, Ralph Lauren, Jimmy Choo, Silhouette, Michael Kors, Vogue, Maui Jim, Costa Del Mar, and Charles Oakley's used glasses. No, they have Oakley glasses there. Discounts. If you mention my show, they'll give you a discount. They love them here. They're in business about 18 years. They're open 5 days a week, closed on Wednesdays. Why?
That would be softball.
Closed on Sundays. Why?
That would be giant football.
There you go. That's it. So please go check out Absolute Eyewear, your friend and mine. They're awesome. And the best thing is, when you leave there, Chris, you don't feel like a jerk off. And I can't think of a better, I think that's the best phrase of all time. And they know it. And that's how you feel when you leave there. All right, let's get to some stuff. I got to talk about this show in Avenel, Chris. Now, last year, we did one show Friday. We sold that little bastard out, right? And then we added Saturday, and we were like 90% sold. So this year they signed me on for Friday and Saturday. Now it's like, wait a minute, now I gotta sell these off at the same time. So I just started promoting loudly, but it's going to be a fun show. All my Colonia peeps go on down there. It's great to see everybody. It's a good time. It's a great place to see a show, great place to see comedy. The bar restaurant attached to the theater. You park the car. You don't have to go anywhere. If that place is too jammed, right across the street is that pizzeria. What is it? Three Brothers? Is that, am I getting the name right over there?
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
know the one in Avenel.
Yeah, I know the one, but I think it's a different name from what I
Not
used
Three
to
Brothers.
know.
What am I thinking of?
Sorrento's, is it?
No. I'm blowing the name. I have to get that right for next week. They're nice guys over there, fans of the show too. So I apologize. I'll get you back next week. Go check it out. It's a good time. March 10th, Friday night, Saturday night at the Avenel Performing Arts Center. Just Google Avenel Performing Arts Center, the APAC. Here it's Chris. You okay? You gonna move that microphone anymore? You want to play the
Relax,
drums?
bro. Relax.
Why don't you
bro.
just play the drums? Unbelievable. The disrespect that comes out of Matawan is mind-boggling as I'm 8 hits away from 3,000.
I don't hear a thing. I don't know. Was it that distracting?
Yeah, it was. It's okay though. The over and under, how many days after I get my 3,000 hit am I going to get cut from Matawan? Come on, bro.
Bro, you haven't been in Jimmy. When was the last time you were in Matawan?
What am I going to go down there for? Say Jersey Boys Pizza. Martin Waltsack, one of my Patreon, coming in Jersey. How can I not know that? Because the Dave has the Jersey Boys podcast. Anyway, so come on down and see the show. All right. Well, let's see. I got an interesting show today, Chris. We got to talk about a lot of things because last week, technical issues, which could happen today. I don't know. My Scarlet McKnights, Rutgers basketball, they lost 3 in a row. I was down on them a little bit. Shitty loss to Nebraska at home. Can't do that. They bounced back with a rough win at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not that good of a team. They scraped by. It was one of those back and forth games. But McConnell was out. Mowat Mag is out for the year. Mulcahy missed a half, and we still got to win. And you know what? When you win a Big Ten game on the road, that's a positive. And that's it. So there's 4 games left. They're 9-7 in league. I think they have to go 2-2, win their home games, they'll get in, but their games are really weird. They play Michigan, and Michigan's not that great this year, but it's still Michigan. And then they got to go on the road at Penn State. And Penn State's one of those teams. They got a couple of guys who shoot threes. If they get hot, we're done. Then away Minnesota. That's a trap game. And then really probably might be a huge game for them at home against Northwestern, who's number 2 in the league. And that could be an interesting thing there. Northwestern got good all of a sudden. So we'll see. The guys are hurt. They're still playing hard. My biggest complaint about Rutgers basketball is basic. It's called basketball. You have to put the ball in the basket. And Rutgers just shoots, and the noise off the rim, like the guy doing production for the telecast has to lower, like they usually have that mic by the rim. The guy has to lower the knob. Like he can't put it at 11. Okay. He's got to put it at like 2 because it clang. And when you teach boxing out at Rutgers, they literally got to be like, hey guys, you got to box out, but like you got to box out like 8 feet away because that's how far the ball's clanging off the rim. Makes me crazy. They lead the league in offensive fouls on fast breaks, mind-boggling. And they lead the league in missed dunks by Omen Yuri. I never saw a guy, he's a giant. It's like me dunking with a little basketball thing on my knees with my nephews. I never missed a dunk. You can't miss dunks. That's what they've been doing. Drives me nuts, but I love them. They play tough. They're a scrappy team. Love the coach. We'll see what happens. 4 games to go. My Knickerbockers are back on Friday. I love watching the Knicks now. But this is going to be all part of I don't have an NFL stinks list, but we'll talk a little bit about the All-Star game. Now, I know, Chris, I don't even have to ask you. I know if you don't like the Emmys and the Oscars and the Grammys, what are the odds that you like any All-Star game in any sport? It's a money grab.
Jimmy, yeah, it's cool for the players that have not made the All-Star game to go get to experience it. But if we're looking for competition here, look elsewhere. That's all. It's for fun.
Yeah, it's awful. It's guys, they're running around. I get it's like a celebration of the league. I get it. But I didn't watch the dunk contest. And then I've seen stuff online. I was like, well, let me watch this. Now, I could care less about the dunk contest either because everybody's 10 feet tall, and you should be able to dunk like that. But then they said this guy won the I get it
Mac
right,
McClung.
Mac McClung, sorry. And I laughed at this because I watched it and I was like, ooh, those were actually pretty cool dunks. Even for me to say that is like going crazy. But the funny thing is, the guy, he doesn't even really play in the NBA. He's played 4 games. You know what he looks like? The kid looks like a new guy at Ray Katina Mercedes on Route 1. The guy who like shadows the veteran salesman. He's like young, kind of like clean cut.
He's got one of the best high school mixtapes, and I know that's probably like a new language to you, but when you go to AAU and colleges, if you type in Mac McClung high school highlights, you're not going to find a better high school highlight reel than you're going to see of Mac McClung.
I don't know this.
He went to Georgetown. He was good in college, but Georgetown stunk. And he was decent in college, but you see, he's a fringe NBA player that's super athletic, can dunk, but he's undersized, so he'll never make it.
All I know is he clearly won the dunk contest. Got to give him credit for that.
They signed him to a 2-way deal 4 days before the dunk contest just so he could participate. He's probably going to get cut next week.
Yeah, but he'll be on like shows. He'll be like, Kelly Lee. Whatever.
His career earnings going into the dunk contest was $106,000. He won $100,000 the night of. So he already.
What?
He doubled his career earnings.
Wow. You know what? He'll probably do a podcast now, and that'll be the end of him.
That'll be it.
I just found out the government is, it's weird, as part of witness protection programs, they're making guys do podcasts. So that way nobody knows who they are. Best joke I've said in 4 weeks, by the way. So, of course, I'm going to have the NBA All-Star Game as stinks. Come on, Chris, you got to laugh a little bit.
It definitely stinks, and that was a funny joke.
Wow, look at I have to ask my co-host. God forbid you would just giggle or make any kind of audio noise. So I say a joke and I get silence.
My friend is helping me out in the other room painting while I'm doing this podcast, and he made a joke today, and I actually laughed out loud. And I had to actually say to him, I said, I want you to know how like special you should feel, because I don't laugh out loud.
Right.
And I'm laughing right now. And he was like,
laughing
wow.
on the inside. So in other words, when you come to the Avenel show, where are you going to sit?
Front row.
No, you can't. You'll stare at me like an oil painting.
I'll be like this.
All
I'll nod. If it's good, I'll be like,
all I do is on Facebook is go back and forth with your dad and your brother and your mom. Never you, God forbid. The only guy who owns a media network and it's never online. But of course, this Chris Gucci / All-Star Game stinks is sponsored by cornholelevel.com. That's right. Mike Caprio, my second baseman. Go to cornholelevel.com. Chris, you got to get these things. They're awesome. They hook right on your board. Again, we always talk about this. You're the kind of guy that doesn't want to be embarrassed when he has a shitty barbecue and the food is like getting hot in the sun and there's like shitty potato salad there and the beer's getting warm. You didn't get enough ice. That you'll do. But you will never have a cornhole boards in the back will be perfectly level. That would be way too embarrassing. But of course, your mom would probably provide all the food. It'll be perfect. So like the good barbecue you guys had last year. But go to cornholelevel.com and go check these out. They're $19.95, 20% off when you put in JP Show. And just go check these things out. They're awesome. It's a gag gift, but it really works. You just hook this thing on the hole and move the board around.
It's funny what you just said about the barbecue. You were right about the barbecue. Shitty food, hot, shitty potato salad, not enough ice. And if it wasn't for my mother, the food would have been a complete disaster. So spot on. And guess what?
Yes,
there was a cornhole level setup at the barbecue. So you're right. Spot on. I will throw a shitty barbecue, but there will be cornhole.
Listen, I love your mom. She does everything. That's what moms do. When I was your age.
You ready for this? As we speak right now, live on the Jimmy Palumbo show, my mother is currently in surgery getting her torn meniscus repaired.
Well, it's so funny you brought that up. Well, I wish her well, and I know that could be painful, that surgery.
Yes. So no, the best part about it is now that finally the pain is over, because they make you jump through hoops to get MRIs, and insurance says you got to rehab for a month and see if that works. And it's
crazy.
And it's like, no, the doctor said it's torn and I should probably have surgery, but we're going to have the woman that works in sales at the office she's at saying, no, we're going to wait.
I don't get
So-
it either. Can you imagine if the NFL did that? Ed Rodgers is down. It looks like a tornado, but he's going to do rehab for the Giant game and the Jet game all the way through the Lions
The
game.
insurance company then we'll find out if the insurance will put the MRI through. Then he has to get blood work done,
Right.
and then he might get his surgery Tuesday.
It just happened with my daughter last week. She hurt her knee, and they were like, no, you'll get MRIs. I'm like, then you don't know. By the way, x-rays were like, what, from 1805? We've been doing x-rays. Makes me sick. I'm with you on that whole thing. Well, I wish your mom well. My mom is also getting a little procedure done on Friday, and we are hoping that all goes well. My mother's, getting up there in age, and whatever, you always get nervous when anybody is up there in age, gets any kind of little procedure done. But hopefully that'll go well, and she'll be.
My mother will be folding laundry tonight, probably, knowing her.
Because moms are bad, and with me and you, we'd be like, "Oh my God, my knee, my leg."
I would be calling my mom to come help me fold my laundry. There's no
absolutely,
question.
And well, that's what you do. But more important news, Chris. So,
thanks. I'll let her know.
No, not more important. Other important news. I didn't say that. I just talked about my mother and her procedure.
That was good. That was good.
It was good. I did not mean it.
My mom can take a punch. We're all good.
When it comes to that family shit.
I know, Jimmy.
Listen, you missed like 9 podcasts because of family stuff. Okay, we had to have Dave fill in, and he was like 6, 7 for 8. The important news though, as well. I played pickleball because I had my injured ankle for a little bit. And dude, I stink. I'm fat. I'm not in shape. I'm not like, it's the winter. I'm not outside enough. And I go out there, and the first match, I was like playing with this kind of stuck up lady. And I just didn't have a feel for it. I missed a lot of shots. And then one of them on the second match, I played shitty the first match. Shitty was playing shitty, playing with this lady. And I hit one out, and she did something you can't do to me. She gave that sigh, that like as if it was like, this guy stinks. And I was dressed like a jerk off, my sweatpants on, my gray top. I looked like I was getting ready to paint. And everybody else is dolled up and everything. And she sighed at me, and it was like that was the biggest mistake. It was like she woke up the beast. I was like, wait a minute, I'm letting a 50-year-old lady sigh at me. Johnny Trino's getting sighed at pickleball. Dude, I was like, all right, put my head down, bro, and complete Jordan for the next hour and a half. Domination to the point where she said to me, oh, that's weird. I didn't realize you were that good. I said to her, I was like, yeah, because I don't care like you do. But when I do care, there's nobody better than me here. And she goes, there's tons of people that are better than you. I was like, no, they're not. So even though I love saying things that you can't ever prove. It's like, I was like, no, I'm the best player here. I just don't care. I show up, I start bullshitting. I want to sit. I'm tired. I want to have my coffee or my Powerade drink that I have. But I played well at the end, so I felt good about myself. But I got to start getting out, man. I got sick for 10 days. The ankle was hurt.
Where you at? Where you at now? Like 225?
I did not weigh myself today. I was going to do it, but I'm guessing I'm probably right around 200. Right around 200. Maybe probably a little over. 201, maybe 202. So I got now 3 weeks to get. Hopefully I can lose. If I could just
back
get below
under the Mendoza line?
Yeah, for the show in Avenel, I'll try to do that. But it was frustrating. And you know what? Everybody plays pickleball now. And everyone got better. I'm getting worse because some people play like 10 times a week. I don't do that anymore.
I would say that you do have to worry about that as it becomes more popular. And typically what ends up happening is if there's a sport that is fun and popular, athletes start to play it. And then it's going to start to be a little bit of an influx into a little bit of a younger, better player very soon.
I've been telling these 50-year-old, 60-year-old people that they're like, no, it's a slow game, a dicking game. I'm like, nah, these guys are going to be just like, if you watch Bjorn Borg play, it looks like your DVR's in slow motion compared to the guys now. Court size is the same. The rackets get better. Everything gets better. Strength, you get young kids with long reach. But it's a fun game. I love the social aspect because you get to bust walls. with people, and it's a great way to run around instead of jogging or doing anything like that. But I got to make a pickle comeback, which I will when the weather gets better. I joined up in a league. How creepy is this? I'm in a league now, okay, where you got to get rated. So you have to play at a practice, and someone videotapes you to send it into the league to get your ranking. And I think I'm a 3.5, but someone says I'm a 3.0. I have no idea. So I told my buddy Dave, who thinks he's, Jimmy Connors. I'm like, dude, when I know the cameras are on, bro, it's gonna be prime time. Like someone's watching me to rate me, I'm gonna go off. I'll dominate. But as soon as
I could probably show up. I would probably show up, and I probably would be the best player there. But I'm also
no, you would
15 years younger.
You'll never be able to beat me in any racket sport. Do you understand that? Okay. We didn't even do our touch football game. I'll play deep, let you go all the way downfield and score. You'll have a shitty quarterback.
Jimmy, I would literally score every
You're
single
not that
play.
fast. I watched
every single play.
No,
bro.
you wouldn't.
Every single play. When did you watch me play? When did you watch me play?
Dude, I'll read the quarterback's eyes. You'll have a shitty quarterback. Probably Dave. He'll be slow. Anyway.
I'll get my brother to play quarterback.
Listen,
who may be a shitty quarterback, but he'll definitely get it to me.
Just because
I'm saying
Dave is texting me now. I don't know why.
You wouldn't catch one pass. And
Dave, why are you texting me?
You wouldn't catch a single pass, and
I totally would.
I wouldn't. There wouldn't be one. There wouldn't be one play, not even one play where I didn't score a touchdown. There wouldn't be one play.
We'll be in the street. There wouldn't even be a play. I'll do it down and out, right at someone's car. Oh, great catch! Bang off the fender. First
down and out.
Yeah, that's right. Fake short, go long. You'll be full. A good pump. I'll get my boy Dave Ben, my QB. I'll have a personal QB.
Jimmy won't even get off the line of scrimmage.
Oh, stop. This is touch football. It's not flag football.
It's touch football.
Yeah. You don't think I'm good. You know what? You make the mistake and hit me. I go with the,
are you going to play? You're going to play off the ball.
You're not that fast. I watched you play softball. You're slow. You're not good. You were good 20 years ago. It's over. We went through this. Now stop slowing the show down. What a good athlete you are.
No, I didn't say I was a good athlete. I said I would you just brought up football. You said we haven't had our football game. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I'll dominate. Listen,
come on.
If we do Olympic sport, not Olympic sports, cut to me and you throw
shot put.
Discus. It'll be funny. If we do like 8 or 9 sports, I will win more than you. How about that? I'll concede some to you. Like I'm talking about like checkers, pool.
Like you're conceding. Pong, you're saying you'll tennis, concede some to me in football, and football is not one of them.
Maybe touch football. Listen, touch football will be competitive, and but still, all the shitty wiffle ball I'm better than. I know I'm better than you wiffle ball. Anyway, listen, I digress. That's why I think Christopher has to go to chasingmiracles.com.
Mm-hmm. I need to get my
beat
life
me
together.
In any sport, you have to chase miracles. And forget about softball. I won that. I won't even compete with that one. You got to use these hydration water packs. I know you and your girl have dabbled in it. There's over 70 trace minerals that you get put into your water. You take these little things out, drop in your water bottle, give it a shake. Boom. You get all kinds of minerals for your stamina, for overall good health. You got to check this out. Chasingmiracles.com. Get in touch with Tommy and Donna. They're awesome. This stuff is really cool. And I've been taking them, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to have her she's going to send me more freebies and that can hold up. I'm out of them now. I didn't leave one to hold up, so I made that mistake. So Donna, if you're listening, you need to send me more. Or maybe I'll just sign up. I could do that for her. But check these things out. Again, chasingmiracles.com. It's a cool website. You feel good about your life as well. They're good people. That's what you want to do. So here at Shay, we got to talk about Saturday night. I had a great night Saturday night. I went into the city. I don't go into the city much. Now, I went to my buddy Steve Venditti, who works for the Giants, turned 50. We went to a bar called Hancock Street on 6th Avenue, which is right in the village. And my brother's got an apartment on Thompson and Bleecker, right in the heart of the metropolis, right where the bars and restaurants and where the music in the cafes at night, a revolution in the air. So I go to the apartment. I drop off my stuff, park the car in the garage, go to my buddy Steve's, got to see his family again. It was great. My buddy Mark Gagliata, who gets mad, I don't mention his name. My buddy Billy Millivoy. A couple guys didn't show up. James O'Donnell, you're a pussy. So I said that live. We hung out, and then, but while I was walking to this bar to see everybody, I see a little kid outside, a 20-year-old kid outside, and I walk by, and it says a comedy show tonight, the comedy shop. So I was like, oh, I said, well, what is this place? He goes, oh, we have a comedy, store thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Comedy shop. He said, what shows you got? Oh, we got a lot of shows. We got a 6, an 8, a 10, a midnight. I was like, that's really cool. So we started talking. I gave him my card. It turns out he knew somebody I knew, and we're going back and forth. He's like, hey, listen, swing on back when your party's over. Maybe I can get you up. I was like, wow, it's very rare. Comedy clubs, everybody's friendly. So he kept on telling me, and I never performed. He was saying like it's the old Lantern where it is. And I'm like, I don't it just didn't ring a bell. So I go to this thing, I stay for a couple hours. So I walk back to this comedy place. I walk in, and the guy's like, oh, I'm so glad you came. He's like, I want to introduce you to the owner, Eddie. So next thing you know, I'm talking to the owner, Eddie. And he's like, I know you from Beer League, Artie, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe it. He knew like Johnny Trino. The guy knew my shit. So he sits me down, have a beer. You want to go up? I said, all right, man, let me relax. Let me think about what set I'm going to do. But then the guy who was running the show, Pete, I could tell like the owner was saying, yeah, put Jimmy up, but they have all these things set up, an hour show, 9 comedians. And if like one person goes up, you screw everybody up, and I didn't want to be that guy. I've been there where a comedian comes in and because he knows somebody and bumps. It's just not cool. You know what I mean? So I could tell the guy was like, Jimmy, I don't know. Maybe you could do the next show. So I ended up hanging out with Eddie, and he had a friend there, this woman, and she was pretty, I guess. We start bullshitting, and I thought that maybe they were dating or something. I didn't know what was going on. And she's drinking a little bit. I'm having some beers, and I could tell she was like, she had been there a while. And he was like, she comes to a lot of the shows, blah, blah, blah. So after a while, I finally saying, hey, like, what's your name? What do you do? Where you from? Those just stupid questions you ask a stranger, And all of a sudden she's like, you're one of those comedians that just, it's all about you. You don't care about anybody else. I was like, first of all, I'm 10 minutes here and you surmise Jimmy Palumbo in 10 minutes. I said, Eddie did most of the talking. I didn't even see, you don't know nothing about me. You don't even know, what do you know about me that I was over talking you, And she's like, you're all egotistical. It's all about you. So I'm like, and she got nasty with it. I was about ready to say, like, if we were at a regular bar, I didn't know anybody there. I would have been like, hey, listen, lady, get the fuck out of my, you're a bitch. What are you talking about? And so I ended up just like, all right, then Eddie comes over and he's like, yeah, Jimmy, you talking to that girl? And I'm like, Eddie, I don't know. Girl's like, she's not nice. She's like, not a nice lady. Next thing you know, she starts laughing at something I said. All of a sudden, she's one of those like mad at you. Then you ever meet someone like that? Like, I'm gonna yell at you. Then I'm gonna be happy going back and forth. And I'm looking at her like, this is nuts. Then I noticed she started to like slur words a little bit, sway in the wind. I'm like, oh. So she's like, I'm gonna go. And of course, Eddie was like, no, why don't you stay? Talk to Jimmy. Like he was setting me up or something like that. And so I'm like, no, it's all right. You should go. I think you've had too much to drink. I was like, okay. So Eddie got up. He goes, hey, Jimmy, just walk her out. Make sure she gets in a cab. Busy. I said, all right. She gets up and she gets nasty with me again. She's like, I don't need help to get out. I was like, hey, listen, the guy Eddie just told me to walk you out. It's right. It's 5 feet from the door. Dude, she gets up. She puts her jacket on. She puts her scarf on. Face plants. Boom. Down goes Frazier. So now I'm like, I yelled out, whoa, because she hit hard, I picked her up and I said, come on, we got to get out of here. And everybody was looking at her and she gets up and her eyes were going different ways. So I get her outside. As we're walking, she goes, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And then I felt bad. I'm like, don't worry about it. You slipped on the chair. Don't worry about it. It's all right. Let me just get you in a cab. You'll be home in 5 minutes. So we come outside and she's still like acting embarrassed. And so I flag a cab down and the cab, of course, was right there, right? It was perfect. And then we're waiting, the cab's kind of shimmy over to get us. And I was like, just don't be embarrassed. Just go home. Don't worry about it. Nice meeting you. I feel, let me just get out of this conversation. She goes, I'm not embarrassed. I said, oh, well, you told me you were inside. She goes, I was embarrassed then, but I'm over it already. I'm not embarrassed. and I don't need your help. I was just like, and now the cab driver's hearing me, and I just looked at the guy. I was like, listen, just take this
So
lady
you
home.
guys, so you guys are going out next Saturday, right?
No, not a chance. I was like, get this lady. I go
It
back inside and
sounds
go,
that sounds fairly normal,
no,
honestly.
that is not for me. I don't need that
No, I
shit.
know. I'm
Are
just
you
messing
kidding me?
around.
No,
Honestly,
she
I would
was.
never deal with
I
that
don't
either.
understand her. She was being nasty. Here I am being a nice guy. I go back inside. I say, Eddie, what the hell's that lady's problem? Next thing you know, Eddie's like, those crazy women. I'm like, no, not like, I don't want to deal with that. So we start hanging out, and 8 o'clock show goes by, 10 o'clock. So now he's giving me food. I'm drinking. He pulls out some champagne. Now I'm like, Jimmy, man, you're having a few cocktails here. You know what I mean? So then the midnight show comes, and I'm hanging out, and the room is really cool. And they're like already set up that, Jimmy, we're definitely gonna have you on here. And the owner's like, put Jimmy on right now, and I could see the guys like, Jimmy, Then I realized I don't want to go on now. I got a buzz on. I don't know what material am I going to do. I have to look at my notes. I have to I'm not one of those comedians that could just in 5 seconds go on. I mean, I could, but I was like, you got a buzz on. You don't know. Joshua's checking in. What's up, Josh? It was like Buzz City, and I said no, but I set it all up. So I'm going to be doing either a show Sunday night or all next week. So I really had a fun time there. And I tell you, it was fun to be in that area, Bleecker Street. I mean, I felt like I was a grandfather there, which I guess technically I am. There were so many young kids having a good time, groups, packs of people going into the Red Lion. I ducked into Terra Blues after I got out of the comedy club. And I ended up Christian Joseph. Is that the guy's name I met? That's so funny. Nice kid. And I went to a blues bar. I was like, this is awesome. Then I realized it was like 12:30 at night. I was out of gas. I'm like, I got to go home, So I went back to my brother's apartment, which is a gorgeous little apartment. And I just relaxed. But it was totally fun to be in the city, on a Saturday night and to see what the kids are doing, And now I know that I have a comedy room. Maybe I have another home base besides stand-up in New York to go do shows. That should be fun. Cut to Monday comes along, Christopher, and my daughter wants to go into the city with her friend. They had off of school, President's Day at Shea, and she wants to go to the store Glossier. Do you know it? Glossier. Okay.
I would say it's a makeup store.
Yeah, good guess. Okay. Now, they had a pop-up one in Brooklyn. Okay. And this one just opened up Friday. So it's only 3 days old, right on Bleecker Street and Spring Street, excuse me. And dude, incredible experience. The whole place, there was a line. I had to wait online. I had to park the car. I let them get online. They were already in. I wait online. None of the people in there was parents. No one was over the age of 16. Not one. Like the employees were 18 at best. There was a couple of, each group of 4 kids had like a parent, me, jerk off, walking around there. And I was like, oh my God. So I went up to the lady. I was like, is this makeup only designed from 13 to 15-year-olds? Like, this is unbelievable. Oh yeah, because the TikTok and Instagram and so these stores just pop up. Most incredible thing. I was like, oh my God. And I'm walking around and my daughter's in heaven. They were like, it was like being an opening day at Yankee Stadium for them. And I was like, oh my God. So then we leave there. She bought, maybe about $100 worth of stuff, which wasn't too bad. And then we go to this other place called Soleil de Janeiro, another like pop-up skincare place from TikTok. We walk in, all dads sitting outside. Inside, same thing, 13 to 16. I'm like, this is nuts. And they're all and the parents are coming in with the credit card, as I did. Boom, bada boom, bada boom. And I'm like, so while they were in there, I went to a men's store across the way. And the guy's like, every day I sit and stare at these 2 stores because right next door to it was a store called Little Word Project. You know what? There's those bracelets where you put like love or be kind. Those little mini,
I know.
They look like mini dice, right? They charge like $30 for these things. It probably costs 4 cents to make. And again, packed with 13 to 16-year-old kids buying something that's going to, be at a garage sale in 2 years. And the guy's like, I watched this and I'm like, it's the most incredible marketing thing. And either these stores are going to become iconic, like Sears, or 2 years from now, no one's going to remember the name, nothing. And then we ended up, and I've talked about this on the podcast, at Stony Clover. Remember, that's the bag shop, and that's owned by who?
Yeah.
The
I don't
owner of
know,
the
but
Tampa Bay Buccaneers and
oh,
Manchester
yes,
United.
yes, yes.
I walk in there. It's the same thing. Everybody's 13 to 16 years old buying these bags, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, holy shit, what is this crap? And all of a sudden I hear the lady going through the same spiel. Well, the two sisters, they were in their basement. They started making bags. So I'm sitting next to another dude. And I'm like, I'm listening to this lady go through the spiel. And some dad sitting there, I could tell he was a rookie. I was like, I looked at him. I was like, it's really incredible. These two sisters just built their stores in Miami, New York, the Hamptons, Los Angeles, London, Paris. He's like, I know. Unbelievable. Two young girls started this kind of business. And I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I was like, pretty cool, though, that their dad owns the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Manchester United. He was like, guy's a huge soccer fan. He goes, I know that guy. Oh, he's like a global billionaire. I'm like, yeah. So, kids decided to open up a bag store, and the father said, great, let's open up every city in the world. And I don't care if you sell 4 bags. It doesn't matter. There's no way without that dad starting that business. Then I started thinking,
I wouldn't say there's no way, but they wouldn't be selling bags on in whatever
on
town
Spring Street in the village. And then I'm saying to myself, I don't think the story works, with the dad being that. I'm thinking, what if my daughter wanted to do bag?
Oh, yeah.
What would I say? I would say to her, okay, I'll invent. Why don't we, you want to open up a hot dog stand in Carteret or Linden or Avenel, maybe right outside the comedy show, and you could sell hot dogs outside my comedy show, and I'll buy the soubrette dogs, and my mother will buy the sauerkraut. And now I'm getting stuff online. Why are you so blurry? I think I look clear as hell. Do I look clear to you?
Are you asking me?
Chris?
It doesn't. It's
Yeah.
not entirely clear as hell.
I don't know why.
But it's been coming and going. It's not. It's probably an internet issue.
It's probably the interweb, which I can't do a damn thing about. Thank you, Robin, for checking in with me and saying, yeah, I look shitty. But my whole life has been blurry. I've been blurry my whole life. So I feel like
I'm still fighting this sneeze, and it's not like I'm fighting it to not sneeze. I'm trying to sneeze. It won't come out for an hour.
The fans scoring at home want you to sneeze.
I want to sneeze.
blow snot all over the screen, so you're blurry. Anyway, so I look blurry. Thank God the camera comes up to here. I look relatively thin. So what else? Oh, don't forget Pine Tar Bar and Grill in Forked River, 121 South Main Street. Go check out my buddy's sports bar. 609-489-4286. They're awesome. PineTarBarGrill.com. And also my friend Lisa Ruane, 201-725-1251. If you're struggling with any kind of anxiety or depression, give her a call. She's wonderful. Too many people. I'm reading horrible things about people doing things to themselves that they shouldn't be doing. Go talk to somebody, 201-725-1251, in person or on Zoom. She's awesome. Lisa Ruane, counseling and therapy and all that stuff. Now, I'm sure you're behind on our television watching.
I am.
Have you been watching Last of Us?
Have I
Dude,
even watched? I have not watched one episode yet, and it's because, bro,
well, you're busy.
What? No, it's not even that. I actually sat down and watched a little bit of shows, but I didn't really get to decide. It was all murder documentaries and things like that. But we tried to watch Last of Us, and for whatever reason, I think I got the HBO Max through Hulu Live, right? And it's like a dumbed down version. They weren't letting me watch that show. I had to pay more, and it was a principal thing. I was pissed off. And then 10 minutes later, I spent $20 on a coffee to get DoorDashed. So I should have just paid for the HBO Max for the month.
You will listen, the show's based on a video game, but you know what's great? I don't play video games. So I play Pong video games and Pac-Man, and even I hate it.
Well, I wouldn't say it's based off of, they got the concept. I think it was a video game first, and then they rewrote a story with the characters and things like that.
This
Yeah.
thing it's an awesome show. I won't reveal what happens. Something major happens at the end of last episode. You're like, whoa. So it totally got me hooked. And I love it. Also, the show Your Honor. You watch any of that on Showtime?
I've watched the first season and I love that show.
Okay.
That
second
show.
season. The second season started, right? And I gotta be honest with you, and you're gonna feel the same way. I thought the first season really ended like
Yep.
it
I don't
should
need
be
more.
over.
That's kind of where
That's what
I'm
I
at
felt.
with it. And I like when
So
shows, even though in spite of a large fan base, ended anyway.
So they started it, right? And I gotta admit, the first 3 episodes, maybe, I was like, oh man, where are we going with this? What's the edge? And dude, the last 2, trust me, you will binge this show. You got to get through the first 2 or 3 though, a little slow. You're like, what's going on here? And this show kind of ended already, and
I'm
now
okay with
it's
that.
got that same feel as the first season. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? Very, 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 very cool. I also got involved with 1923, the Yellowstone prequel with Harrison Ford, and that just got unbelievably intense. I'll tell you. There's a couple of actresses on the show. I wrote Julia Schlepfer. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Schleaepfor. Schleffer. 27 years old, blonde, lights out, gorgeous, and great actress. And there's also the other guy's wife, Isabella May. She plays Elsa. This girl's like 23 years old. I looked them up on IMDb. They don't have that much to their, like, these young people just coming in, lighting it up on a huge show. It's awesome to watch. But the one who steals the show is this actress name, and I'm blowing the name, Amina Nevis. She plays Tiona, this American Indian girl. She gets her ass kicked every episode. Every episode, she's got a bloody eye, broken jaw. She gets her ass kicked. And she finally gets out, and you think everything's, I'm not blowing anything for anybody, but and all of a sudden something horrible happens to her, but and she obviously has a connection to Yellowstone characters. This is going to be one pissed off American Indian girl, what happened to her, but she's free now, and she is, when you watch a show and you're like, okay, this girl has been beaten down. It's like, Aaron Rodgers has been shut out through 3 quarters and it's only 6-3. There's going to be a moment where she lights it up. And I look forward to that. But her acting is great. Another one hasn't done that much. Just really, really fun to watch. I love watching new faces. Maybe someday I'll be on a show and everybody's like, that old guy's great. What the hell has he done? And then you got to go to IMDb and you got to scroll. But the problem is no one's going to know the shows I'm on. Like, no one knows Spin City anymore, or, maybe Navy, NCIS, or Blue Bloods. So, I still get those 17-cent residual checks. But I did get a couple of nice checks last week. Came in the mailbox. You got to love that shit when you're expecting 17 cents and there's some zeros at the end of it. Jimmy Palumbo getting involved.
$17. Good for you.
Well, maybe a couple more zeros than that.
Oh.
Here at Shea. Or you get a combo. Yeah, come on, combo. Anyway, that's always fun. But the other thing is I watched a really cool documentary. I don't know if you know this guy, Gordon Lightfoot. You know who that is?
I bet I do if you elaborate a little bit.
He wrote If You Could Read My Mind. I hate to sing it. He wrote Sundown, Carefree Highway.
Nope.
And Edmund Fitzgerald, that song about the boat. It's okay. Well, obviously,
I thought you were maybe talking about.
Listen to me. If you heard these songs, I don't want to sing them on the air. If you heard the songs, I would guarantee you'll know. Oh, I know that song. Anyway, I didn't know anything about this guy. He's still alive. He's like 85 years old. Still plays shows, and he looks like a character on Game of Thrones now. And I know my friend Robin's saying sing. I'm just not going to sing. I'll sing another time. Joe Sinecor, Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. That's right. But this guy's got a crazy career. He's from Canada, out of Toronto. And he was like this hot folk star in New York and Toronto and in LA and just a storyteller. He had this whole thing. I love when you watch, again, we've talked about this. When you watch a documentary and you know just a little bit, you're like, hey, I remember that guy. And all of a sudden you watch the documentary and you're like, holy shit, I had no idea. You know what I mean? I always get the feeling that's not going to happen with like someone like, 20 years from now, someone going to be like, I saw a documentary on this singer called Adele. I just feel like, what was it about? Oh, she sang and then she broke up with a guy and she got depressed and she lost weight and then she doesn't sing anymore. No, that's me, not her. I just don't know. Like, do any of these new stars have any kind of like stuff you could do
Yes.
documentary? You think so?
Yeah. I
don't.
mean,
I don't.
here's the thing. You don't, but when we're at a point where these new stars are now old stars and there's nostalgia attached to them, and
No.
the people that are your age are now 20 now, it's going to be the same deal, bro. It's just that's how time always goes. Yeah.
First of all, you think I'm going to be like, oh, I saw a great documentary on Harry Styles?
No, you're not. You're not. But you're like somehow infatuated with Bing Crosby documentaries,
which are great, by the way.
Well, of course,
and that was historical, though. First of all, you're comparing Bing Crosby to Adele and Harry Styles. That's like saying
no. I'm making a point. I'm making a point.
Mac McClung and Jordan going at it one-on-one next week.
But I could guarantee you that most people, a target audience right now, isn't going to give a shit about a Bing Crosby documentary in 20 years. They're not. They're going to care about Machine Gun Kelly documentary.
No. First of all, every Christmas, there you go. Every Christmas, you're going to hear on the radio, every mall, still Bing Crosby stuff. First of all.
And you know what it's going to be? It's going to be one of those classic things where it's going to be like, oh, I know that. Oh, the Christmas song. It's the Christmas song that he sings is going to be way more famous than he ever will be. And it already is. I'll ask who sings that song go to any college and say, who's singing right now? They'll be like, what? Who? I don't know.
There's people that don't know who Led Zeppelin is. That's not the point. I'm talking about a documentary. What are these people going to say? What are you going to say? Some young artist is like, oh, I wrote the song. And then, I know all these hip hop artists.
I've watched documentaries that are terrible. It's a matter of you're appealing to a set audience when you're making a documentary. So if anybody famous has fans and you make a documentary, their fans are going to watch it.
Listen, but the documentary is going to be 8 minutes long. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, because of all these, because of these streaming services, there's too many shitty documentaries right now. Matter of fact, I think they should do a documentary on Jimmy Palumbo. What do you think, Chris?
Honestly,
it opens up with me slapping a base hit at Warren Park.
Well, then they would know that it's not real. And they would be like, we've had enough of the embellishment. We know that Jimmy Palumbo's base hit days are far behind him.
And the whole documentary is from the point of view of me, like the camera's my eyes, watching you drop fly balls when we played that one year, and me just making inner commentary like, hey, that guy Chris is way younger than me, and that ball just hit off of every body part, and then he threw it over the second baseman's head, and the guy from second scored. That's going to be the documentary. That's what we're going to have. Or maybe they'll do a documentary on Chop Sports, and the first 25 minutes is a lot about Jimmy Palumbo, and then all of a sudden, I'm out of the documentary just like that. And then they'll be interviewing Janine Michaud and Craig.
And then where was it? You were at like Victory Studios. Be like, Jimmy got signed by Victory Studios. He coming to you live from where were we? Poughkeepsie. Where were you up there?
I may have to move my studios to Colonia, New Jersey. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll do live from Colonia Pizzeria. I should do my show live from Colonia.
I actually went to Colonia Pizza I don't think it was the same.
Well,
I went to Colonia Pizza last week, first time in 10 years.
I want to wish everybody, of course, tonight's Mardi Gras here at Shea, which I've never been into. I got a bartend. Come check me out over at the Mason Jar. Celebrity bartending night at the Mason Jar.
Jimmy is going to have beads on hand. So,
and I also, where's my paperwork here? I also, I don't know. It's Lent, starts tomorrow. Can't eat meat. Got to fast tomorrow. And I decided, there's a little booklet here, and I decided to make some Lent situations. And I'm going to go back to something I did a long time ago, and it worked for about 5 months. I'm going to try to curse less. I have too much potty mouth. I go to Walgreens, I'm cursing. I say shit, piss, all the George Carlin words. I'm going to try to curse less. And my buddy Joe Sinecor, who's listening right now, is probably saying, yes, Jimmy.
I know what I'm going to do for Lent.
I'm also going to try to, you know what, go to bed a little earlier, wake up a little earlier, that kind of thing, a little less booze. I just write less booze. Some people go dry for Lent. That's not happening. And, just stay focused throughout the day on what you got to do to get done. Those are my things for Lent. So I'll check in a couple of weeks, 40 days and 40 nights here at Shea. How well I'm doing with that. I hate to do stuff specifically like no chocolate or anything like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't do anything for Lent.
No.
My life sucks.
You know what?
Enough.
Maybe
I've been making some of my sacrifices enough. I'm good. I'm actually going to care less. That's what I'm going to do for Lent. You're going to curse less. I'm going to care even less.
But you barely care about anything now.
I know, bro. It's beautiful, isn't it?
You got more room.
I have very.
There's
some
no
people
such thing
as nothing.
There's some fans that say I should just give up my podcast for Lent.
Right.
Come back. And Jesus has risen up here from the cave from downtown Jerusalem. They talked about it. He said it all year long. He'll come back in 3 days. And on Monday, after Jesus has risen, Jimmy Palumbo's podcast is back. Maybe I got to wait. Maybe I should
the
give up
resurrection,
that.
bro. Right.
But listen,
you probably inherently curse a lot less, and all the other things that you're trying to improve on in terms of mood and overall feeling good.
Well,
that might maybe we just found something.
Well, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe no podcast for Lent.
Hey, and I'm already making good on my Lent where I said I'd care less, and perfect. It worked out. I care less, even less.
What now? First of all,
no, Jimmy, that was a subtle dig, which I'm sure you got.
Listen, you in front of that gorgeous brick wall. The bottom, a couple things I didn't bring up. Number one, I always start off Lent stuff, and then I just, it goes by the bay. But I'm pretty good at eating the fish on Fridays and stuff. Yeah. Usually I miss one. I'm in the middle of like a bacon cheeseburger, and I'm like, shit. I gave up cursing. I just said shit, and then I'm eating a bacon cheeseburger on Friday. That's no good. There was a famous story. I drove down to Florida once with Artie Lang and Michael Deege. I know I've told this story a million times. We ended up driving through the night. We duck into this place around noon, and we forgot it was Good Friday. Artie knew it, though, piece of shit that he was. And me and Deej ordered like double bacon cheeseburgers with like chili, every meat possible thing you could order. And Artie waits till we started eating. And then he goes, told you guys, it's Good Friday. You're not supposed to eat meat. And me and Deej were so mad at him because I was going to get the fish and chips. Then I said, you know what? I said, dude, I don't care now.
Jimmy,
that's on you.
You get plausible deniability if you forget. It's just like,
you can't forget.
No, you forgot. And if there's anybody that knows that you forgot, it's God.
I know, but still, so God, I think got mad at Artie because you should have told him online. You saw them ordering the bacon cheeseburger. So now, I will give up all that. I'll be good with that. And one last thing, Christopher, and you're going to hate me for this, but I'm right. I've been reading the Yankee articles and the baseball articles. I enjoy baseball. And all I know is a lot of Yankee talk, right? And nothing on Giancarlo Stanton. They talk about every player except for Stanton. And I'm like, well, he did lousy at the end of the year. I'll give you that. He never does well after he comes back from an injury. But I'm like, he carried the Yankees for 2 months, as he always does. So I know it's a 6-month season, but like this guy is still a threat at the plate. And God forbid, if he has a season where he doesn't get, really hurt like he did last year, throws off his timing. Again, I think he's gonna slip under the radar and have another big year.
I think that's
they don't talk about him. He makes $25 million a year.
That's the best spot for him. The best spot for him to be in is nobody talking about him because considering the season that he's coming off of, as good as he started, the only thing that they could really be saying about him is bad things and how he's not living up to expectations, et cetera, et cetera. So good spot to be in. They signed big time free agents in the offseason. That's where the buzz is right now. Okay. But once it comes down, if he hits 2 bombs opening day again,
it'll be great.
We're all going to be talking about him. So
ready? Gun to your head. Judge this season. How does he do?
Well, he's not hitting 60. We'll go get that out of the way. But I think
do you think he'll significantly shit the bed or just be just a number?
I think he's too good of a player for that. Outside of an injury, which is obviously a real potential thing.
So if he gets 600 at bat, 550 at bats, you think he's going to bat over 300 or is going to be lower?
I don't know about all that.
Okay. I'm going to make my predictions.
I think
Judge is
about
only going to.
285 with 45 home runs. I'll take that
I
all
think
day.
I think Judge is going to hit 40 home runs and bat 270. And I think everybody's favorite player, Rizzo, will bat under 225 again.
So who is going to be the best Yankee hitter this year? If you say
I
Stanton,
don't
you're
know.
just,
No,
it's going to be
Stanton's the
Judge.
best
It's going to
player.
be Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I think LeMahieu, that foot. I mean, I'm worried about that.
Who are you going to want? Who are you going to want up when you need runs driven in? Judge.
I think Judge is going to be great, but he's going to be. I don't think he's batting like he had last year. I think everything's going to be down. Judge, he's a good fielder too. Good arm. I have no problem with Judge. I just don't. I think he's going to bat 270 in today's game. 270, 45 home runs. You make $30-40 million a year. That's how it works. All right, kids. Show number 102 in the books here at Shea. Happy Lent. Happy Mardi Gras. Happy Ash Wednesday. Are you going to take Ashley to Ash Wednesday?
No.
Okay, that's the extent of my trying
Your
to
Ash
get
Wednesday joke.
My Ash Wednesday. Not a joke. I'll be there. I'm as practicing Catholic as good as it could be. Make sure you Google Dave Collins, and that's it. Chris, I'll see you next week. Thanks for doing the show, and
of course,
I'll see everybody next week with a very special guest.